Stars away. Meh, 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 meh. Right. Hello, hello, my violence-loving buddies. This is The Passion, also known as Mikkel, and welcome to another part of my review of No More Heroes and my wish list for what I hope carries over into No More Heroes 3. This time we go over the stages and the ranked assassins themselves. Now onward to the Garden of Madness.
Am I ready?
Helter Skelter.
Hear the lullaby? Rest in peace, baby.
What beautiful, handsome man, named the Drifter at the start of the game. Shame we never got to face him. Most who haven't dug into the history of No More Heroes would barely recognise this guy. He was featured in the Heroes trailer, later cropped into the intro of No More Heroes. The voice acting is legendary, and I'm not sure who is the voice actor for Travis in this trailer. It might be Robin, but oh well, moving on.
Death metal.
So nice. You have no idea, do you?
Death Metal's mansion was a great place to have a tutorial. Not too many wide open spaces so the player does not get lost, a good variety of enemies, and dark side modes aplenty. Having big portraits of the upcoming assassin was rewarding too. Enemies were a swarm of black suited security guards which suited the location. Vaguely detailed and paled in comparison to their boss. Now for the boss fight. Death Metal is a safe introduction to how assassin fights behave. In a fairly sized arena, you versus them. His combo attacks with his orange 2 were aggressive, but nothing just blocking could handle. A big old chunk of dark stepping bait. A cool multi-form technique was pretty unexpected. Not much replay value gained from this fight though. The pace of the fight does escalate, but not by much for good reason. Death Metal is the first of many assassins after all. If I wanted to carry anything over to No More Heroes 3, it would be the multi-form technique, and Travis having in-fight dialogue for more of the assassins in general. Not for everyone, just often enough that we get to see his immediate impressions of their attacks and motives.
Extraordinary. The moment I've been waiting for. The name Holy Sword is now yours.
You're joking, right? I don't care about titles or power. I just want to be number one.
Then master the ways of the assassin.
Here's your ticket to paradise, old man.
Dr. Peace.
Listen to my song.
It was a lot of fun to have baseball-themed enemies, like Santa Destroy's baseball team wanted Travis out the running in the second inning. Throwing baseballs if you stayed away for too long was an unexpected change from Gunman, and the baseball minigame really shook things up. The location really gave the feel we were heading through the dark underbelly of Santa Destroy to have this fight. The stage did surprise me due to Dr. Peace being a detective, a gunman. The connection is a bit lost on me. Having a wide open space that benefited the assassin was an interesting gear shift, really hammering in good timing with dodges. Your movement and spacing was the strongest tool in this boss fight. The standoff sequence was a nice way to end the boss fight. I do wish more of the fights had these in their finale. Dr. Peace does not have much to do with the baseball theme, which I found a little jarring. Overall, a great boss fight that gets you to think twice about guns. Two things I would carry forward with Dr. Peace is the gunplay, with more mix-up options at close range, and the standoff mechanic actually having various button inputs.
Rap with me, Jennifer.
It's open mic night in hell, old man. Sing all you want down there.
What's that in your hand? A toy?
Santa Destroy High School is one of those environments in a game that is genius and a bit of a maze, if you backtrack for something. Starting your rampage from the gates and working your way in was pretty cool. The designs of the enemies seemed more like everyone who studied there was a hooligan. I preferred to see it as Shinobu having a secret gang outside the school, people to cover up for her assassin antics. The school has various segments. The enemy's weapons can set Travis on fire, so you have to seek out a fire extinguisher to change that. We even have some electrical issues and must make a mad dash just to turn off the sprinkler system. This stage really offered a lot more to the player early into the game. An arena type room, which I always appreciate in a hack and slash game. Only issue for me is if you head back for a fire extinguisher or health, it can be a bit tricky to find your way back sometimes. Fighting Shinobu was exciting for the fact that she had various sword attacks and the ability to attack from long distances. Being on the defensive against her is not always the best option. The posts provide a lot of cover, and Shinobu could use them to vault over the player and regain some ground. A very lethal attack combo, it might be an insta-kill move, but can't remember. Being in the abandoned part of the school was showing off the gritty side of Santa Destroy, and at times was hard to see in. A great fight, taking some patience and passion, makes sense since she is a well-trained samurai. I would like to see Shinobu's vault to return since it stops the action for a moment, acting as a good momentum shift. Also a sonic sword, and if we could clash with it, that would be epic.
Kill me. I admit it. I lost. Just do it!
How about kill yourself after you kill me?
Please.
I'll fight you anytime, anywhere. Until then, I'll be waiting.
Destroy man.
Come and get some.
Starting some of the Rampage via public transport was impressive, a fresh take on the protagonist's journey to their next opponent. The train was narrow enough to make enemies easy to manage and got me to think about the Rampage to this ranked fight would be simple. I'm glad I was wrong. It was nice to switch your brain off for a little bit though. When arriving at the warehouse to goons with paper bags on their heads, I was surprised. The bag bandits came in decent sized swarms, and having to head upstairs to finish off the rest gave the stage a bit of verticality that I did not expect. The game suffers for this though. You can't perform wrestling moves unless you are exactly level with the target. It would have been nice to suplex a goon down a set of stairs, but you can't have it all. Gunmen were spaced out well, forcing the player to weigh out which way to attack and when. Having these arenas disguised as warehouses was great too. Getting these parts separated was a good way to have the player stop for a moment, recover health, or charge their beam katana. Going face to face with Destroy Man's attacks was what you'd expect after the cutscene. Big, loud, and pow! His Destroy Arsenal had some long-range attacks that really rocked you. The recording studio had plenty of cover, some being hard to see since it was black as the shadows. Getting to see an assassin take flight and do some wire combat was fantastic as well, since some of the equipment would head up with Destroy Man, and only one switch out of several would bring the cosplayer back down to earth. What was disappointing for me in this boss fight was too much cover in such a large space. Also, Destroy Man did not have a means to close the gap quickly. Maybe his backstep move being used as a quick step towards the player, or destructible cover, could add to the intensity of this battle. Overall, a lot of fun, a lot of character in the fight, and it got creative enough to have the assassin literally fly over you, with some Hollywood magic. I would bring Destroy Man's Spark, Thruster, and Cannon to No More Heroes 3. If Destroy Man was given more close-up attacks too, then this swole boy could prove he is not just flare and lasers.
Well then, let's get started. Destroy Spark. Destroy Pow! Destroy Beam! This is where it gets good. Good night. Destroy Buster!
Holy summers.
Still just a fight.
Being told to slow the hell down because of guns and mines really slowed down this stage, and its action at this point. Having enemies pop out the sand was awesome, and their army gear was badass. It would be nice of them to have dialogue more relevant to their outfits though. The scenery is great, and honestly my favourite place to perform suplexes. But the gunmen were grouped really close together, and they can eradicate you if their Uzis are queued up in the right way. Using the minimap to look out for mines did hammer in to be aware of where you step. The unfortunate part of this feature is the enemies not taking damage from the mines or even setting them off when running to you. The player could benefit from going on the defensive and lead the melee soldiers to the mines. Despite my complaints, this stage really did get you thinking about your approaches. With some trial and error, you learn how to manage enemies a lot better. My favourite part to this stage was the transitions to the next area. These moments truly make Travis look like a jackass. With our Blossom to be, Holly Summers feels like a bit of a difficulty spike when it comes to the timing and the punishment that is laid on you if you are not careful. The beach is filled with holes you can fall down and potentially die in. A great upside to this is that the holes are easy to uncover and not so easy to hide again for Holly. Mainly for me it is the rockets that are a big punishment for poor timing. A charged attack can nullify this, which can take some serious practice to get down. I believe this assassin is our first tough projectile-based enemy with great mobility, able to quickly leave you in the dust and frustrate you. The arena is a bit larger than I liked, but a lot of replayability is in this boss fight. You can really blossom here. I would carry a few mechanics from this boss fight to No More Heroes 3. The traps, Holly's agility, rockets and knives. A lot of this kit needs a few adjustments to let the player express themselves more with different approaches though.
Wait! Number 6! No! Forgive me, number 6. I never meant to shame you.
We'll cut things off from here. I'll continue with my review and wish list for the rest of the assassins next time. See you on the next journey. Take care.